Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, November 12th, reveal that Rafe Hernandez will face some alarm bells, while Trey DiMera gets a baby shower. Lonnie Price Grant will also dish out some tough love, so here's what Days fans can look forward to. For starters, Sammy Brady will host a baby shower for Chanel Dupree DiMera, Johnny DiMera, and their new bundle of joy. Now that Trey is the newest member of the family, he'll get a proper party and some gifts to celebrate the occasion. Lonnie and Eli Grant will make it back to town on Wednesday's Duel episode as well, so they'll no doubt meet little Trey and catch up with all their loved ones in Salem. Once Lonnie gets updates on the conflict between Abe Carver and Paulina Price, she'll want to help. Days spoilers say Abe will open up to Lonnie about his issues with Paulina, but Lonnie will urge him to look at things from a different perspective. Abe has been focused on Paulina's advice for Theo Carver since she felt he should make his own career decisions. That wasn't what Abe had in mind, since he doesn't want Theo working at DiMera Enterprises. However, Lonnie will push Abe to see that Theo turned to Paulina for a reason. Since Abe tries to make Theo's choices for him, Lonnie may think her brother knew Paulina would encourage him to think for himself. In the end, Lonnie may help Abe see that he's being a bit stubborn and controlling under the circumstances. Abe really needs to patch things up with Paulina and let Theo figure out his own path, so he may do both those things with a nudge from Lonnie. As for Rafe, he'll receive some news that he finds alarming. Will this be related to E.J. DiMera's shady activities and the mission to bring him down? Rafe might worry about Dr. Wilhelm Rolfe being back in town and up to no good as usual. Then again, Rafe's concerns might tie in with Kat Green if she admits the memory she just had. After bumping into Sammy, Kat recalled seeing her by comatose EJ's bedside in Italy. That led to Kat remembering her own time by EJ's bedside when she read him Wuthering Heights, but she obviously didn't know who he was at the time. If Rafe senses that Kat's feeling too close to EJ, especially considering what she now recalls, he may worry about it compromising their investigation. Other Days spoilers say Marlena Evans will have a rough time. Between the baby shower and the upcoming gala announcement regarding John Black, Marlena will have a lot of emotions to contend with. Marlena will eventually reach a breaking point and let those emotions pour out, but she won't be alone. Sammy may step up to comfort Marlena, but we also know Will Horton will console his grandmother within the next episode or two. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Marlena will have plenty of support, so stay tuned. A lot of times, events blindside us out of nowhere, hitting with something we never expected and challenging us in ways we never imagined. That's as true off-screen as it is on a soap opera like Days of Our Lives. And it's something Suzanne Rogers experienced this past summer. She told TV Insider when she was diagnosed with cancer. And now, the beloved vet has a health update to share. Once again talking to TV Insider, this time at the Peacock soap's 60th anniversary celebration, Rogers shared, "I'm getting my energy back. I'm at about 70%. That same day, she revealed to people that she's now in remission after a very rough summer, having had the cancer removed and going through radiation. But I didn't lose my hair. I guess I got it early. I was stage 2, and it was a certain kind of chemo that they gave me. It was pills and the radiation, and it didn't affect it, so that was good." Last month, we reported that Rogers had started treatment in June, undergoing radiation and chemo 5 days a week for 6 weeks. That overlapped a good deal with Days of Our Lives' own 6-week summer break, so she could mostly keep it under wraps. She leaned on her friend, Suni Osterman, and Lindsay Godfrey, especially as Rogers' on-screen daughter was also a cancer survivor, and an incredible pillar of support as Rogers went through the ordeal. Godfrey would sit and hold her TV mother's hand while she sat through the infusions, and dinners with Sarah's portrayer, her daughter Aleda, and Paul Telfer were a source of comfort. Because unlike the drama and the anger that's playing out on screen right now, the actors themselves couldn't be closer. "I knew I could count on them," Rogers shares, "so it was a lovely experience on and off the set. We really feel like a family." But treatment takes a lot out of you, and while Rogers wrapped it at the end of July, she's only now returning to work next week. Since the show shoots 10 months in advance, we won't see Maggie's absence until around the end of next summer. because as executive producer Ken Corday made clear to her, Maggie wasn't going anywhere and she could pick right back up when she was ready. In the end, the prayers and the good wishes from my friends and my family helped me stay positive and stay on top of it and beat this. Now that Rogers is through the ordeal and has come out the other side, she wanted the fans to know what had happened and give a heads up about Maggie's eventual disappearance. There's been some things on Facebook that said that I had retired and I had left the show, she notes to TV Insider, and none of that is true. I don't want to upset anybody, but I want them to know what's going on. Maggie may be taking a break in the future because of battle, but neither she nor Rogers are going anywhere. Her treatment is done, and every day the Days of Our Lives mainstay feels better and stronger, and we couldn't be more thankful. Daytime lost one of its true greats when Days of Our Lives' incomparable John Aniston passed away on November 11th, 2022. There's a segment of the population that only knew John Aniston as, "Oh, that's Jennifer Aniston's father." We feel sorry for that segment of the population because it really missed out. Those of us who are daytime aficionados are well aware that he was so much more, an actor blessed with enviable panache and the ability to erupt on screen with the spectacular force of a volcano. The soap vet is, of course, best known for his nearly 4-decade run as Days of Our Lives baddie, Victor Kiriakis. But he first passed through Salem 15 years earlier as Dr. Eric Richards. The character didn't make much of an impression, but Aniston did. Even as the MD was being turned down for a date, his portrayer was coming off as smooth as a freshly ironed lab coat. In the years between his Days of Our Lives stints, Aniston passed through Love of Life as Eddie Aliata, whose better half hardly lived up to the term, and Search for Tomorrow, whereas Martin Tourneur, he revealed the flair for wickedness that would serve him so well as Victor. Then, of course, came Aniston's role of a lifetime. When he returned to Days of Our Lives as the Greek tycoon with a surplus of money and a shortage of scruples, he played the part to the hilt and beyond. We hated Victor and loved to hate him. However, the beauty of Aniston's performance, even early on, was that he didn't make his alter ego a mustache-twirling villain, even though he had a fabulous mustache with which he could have done so. He gave Victor depth, desire, and, especially shocking, humanity. He wasn't rotten to the core, just damn near to the core. Every time the writers pushed Victor so far to the dark side that it was tempting to think that he couldn't be pulled back, he was, in large part, due Aniston's power. He didn't just appear on screen, he commanded the screen, electrifying his most dramatic scenes and shading in his quieter moments with the skillfulness of a sketch artist. In later years, Aniston was allowed more and more to also play Victor's humor, as cutting as a newly sharpened knife and unrelentingly droll. Aniston and Suzanne Rogers even made the unlikely pairing of sweet Maggie Horton and sour Victor work, in the process shining a spotlight on the surprisingly existent and functioning heart of the pot stirrer who had for so long made Salem hell for its residents. By the time Aniston died, he'd convinced us that there was nothing that he couldn't do, even live forever, which, in a way, he certainly will. Because those of us who were lucky enough to enjoy his work will never forget it or him. When Marie comes home for the Tom Horton Free Clinic Gala, Julie introduces her aunt to Holly and Tate, who are there to hear 60 years of Horton family stories for a class project. The Horton women give them a rundown of the family, including how Marie fell for her brother over coffee at the pub with his dad, Mike. Jeremy wonders if he belongs in Salem. No one, especially Stephanie, trusts him. Mike knows how hard he's worked to get past it. If he sticks to it, everyone will realize what a good man he's become. A man he's proud to call his son. The Horton men arrive at the family home and join Holly and Tate's documentary. Mike shares what an honor it was to follow in his grandfather's footsteps in medicine. When Holly asks about his parents, University Hospital power couple Bill and Laura, Julie shares an uncomfortable look with Marie, who states they definitely made their mark on the family. At the hospital, Kayla tells Chad and Jennifer that Thomas has a mild concussion and a dislocated shoulder. He'll be fine. Breathing a sigh of relief, Chad asks to see his son. Jennifer snarks that Thomas might not want to see Chad since the accident is all his fault. Chad lashes out, leading to a loud argument that Kayla has to break up. When Chad goes to see Thomas, Jennifer vents to Kayla about Chad and Kat. She can't let it go on. In his exam room, Thomas, with his arm in a sling, accuses Chad of lying again. As Chad tries to explain, Kayla interrupts to reset Thomas's shoulder. Chad tells his scared son that he'll be there the whole time, but Thomas just wants his grandma. Chad protests, but Kayla convinces him to stand down for Thomas' sake. When Mike walks Tate and Holly out of the Horton house, Jeremy reveals he picked up on Marie and Julie's not-so-subtle look. What didn't they want to tell the teens about Bill and Laura? A call from Jennifer disrupts the women's deer-in-the-headlights reaction. Julie relays the news about Thomas to the family, and Mike rushes to the hospital. Jeremy returns to his question about his grandparents. The women reluctantly recount how Bill raped Laura while she was married to his brother Mickey. But don't you know, it all worked out. Bill and Laura married and even had another child, Jennifer Rose. Julie tells a floored Jeremy that all families have secrets. You learn and you grow, and you find out in time it's not about sweeping things under the rug. It's about not letting the past define you. In a booth at the pub, Holly and Tate reel over the stories they heard about the perfect Horton family. Holly muses that they were young once and brought the drama just like them. Tate declares they're done with the drama. He's learned from his mistakes, and he's dedicating himself to making it up to her. He kisses her. She playfully calls it a start and kisses him back. As Mike reunites with Jennifer at the hospital, Chad returns to the lobby. Jennifer goes to Thomas, leaving Chad to relay that Jennifer blames him for what happened to Thomas. Maybe she's not wrong. Mike has heard the stories from his sister, but he will give Chad the benefit of the doubt. He trusts he'll make the right decision where his kids are concerned. Kayla returns to tell Chad that Thomas is ready to go. As Chad fills out paperwork, Mike apologizes to Kayla for Jeremy's treatment of Stephanie in the past. However, he's been working very hard to turn his life around. Time will tell, Kayla says. When Jennifer returns to the lobby, she accuses Chad of not putting his children first, which is why Thomas was hurt. He could have been killed. She can't trust Chad with her grandchildren anymore. She's taking Thomas and Charlotte to Boston. If he fights her, she will sue him for custody. Some sad news for Days of Our Lives fans. Actress Sally Kirkland, known to soap audiences for her time on Duel as Tracy Simpson in the late 90s, has passed away at the age of 84. In addition to her time on Days of Our Lives, which spanned 22 shows in 1989, Kirkland enjoyed a celebrated career in acting that spanned soaps, films, and primetime television. She was a 1988 Golden Globe winner, Best Actress in a Motion Picture for her role in the movie Anna, a performance that also earned her an Academy Award nomination. Kirkland also scored a Golden Globe Award nomination in 1992 in the category of Best Actress, miniseries or television film for her role in the flick The Haunted. She was also nominated and won a slew of other awards via organizations and festivals in the industry. Sally Kirkland was also known for her many roles in primetime television, including Roseanne, Valley of the Dolls, Charlie's Angels, Criminal Minds, Wanted, Another Pretty Face, and Heatwave. In addition, Kirkland was also in hit films like Cold Feet, JFK, Bruce Almighty, Paint It Red, and Best of the Best, among others. More recently, in 2024, she worked on Sallywood, a semi-autobiographical story about a writer who was obsessed with meeting the actress. As per TMZ, the 84-year-old passed away in the early hours of this morning, something Michael Green, Kirkland's rep, confirmed. Reports surfaced earlier this week that the actress was in a Palm Springs hospital fighting a serious infection. Kirkland is survived by her godson and filmmaker Cody Galloway, as well as 3 cousins, Tina, Brooke, and Catherine Kirkland. On behalf of everyone here, we pass on our condolences to Sally Kirk's family, friends, loved ones, peers, and fans. Days of Our Lives news shows that the legendary NBC soap now streaming on Peacock has delighted fans for more than 50 years. But some sources worry that the show's longevity could be in danger for one very grim reason: The loss of veteran cast members. Days debuted on NBC in 1965 and recently celebrated its 60th anniversary. One of the most endearing things about the soap has been its long list of veteran actors, some having been with the show for decades. According to an inside source, age is now a concern for show bosses. A network source told the Daily Mail, "When you lose so many fan favorites, it can't help but affect the viewership and the show's ratings. Several longtime fan faves have departed the show in recent years. 98-year-old Bill Hayes, who played Doug Williams, 89-year-old John Aniston, who played Victor Kiriakis, Wayne Northrup, 77, who played Roman Brady, and Drake Hogestyn, 70, who played John Black." The source noted, "When Days first began, the two main families were the Bradys and the Hortons. Stars the fans would love to see more of are Alison Sweeney and Brian Dattilo, who debuted in 1993. On a side note, Ariane Zucker, who played Nicole Walker for over 20 years, left last year after she filed a lawsuit against director and executive producer Albert Alar. She accused him of sexual harassment and discrimination. Alar lost his job and they settled last month. He has denied the allegations. Some fans have voiced concerns about the show being behind a paywall since 2022. Despite the fact that Duel was Peacock's second most watched show of 2024, the source worries it has led to disenchantment among the fan base. One fan posted, "When you stream the show, you can no longer call your friends and discuss the story because they don't want you to ruin it for them when they haven't had a chance to watch." Another voiced the opinion of many, stating that the added $10.99, $16.99 month is restrictive. "I began watching with my grandmother when I was about 10, but now that I'm in my late 70s and am living on a tight budget, it's just an expense I can't afford it." A spokesperson for the show has said that a continued focus on the legacy families is front and center, but that new talent and younger stars is important. To this end, staff allegedly are being directed by the network to go in a much younger direction, and the money seems to lie in bringing in Gen Z and millennial viewers. Daily Mail contacted a representative for Days of Our Lives for comment, and if and when a response is available, we will update this story. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, November 11th, imply some interesting moments up ahead. Fans can expect some major returns, while a threat is also issued, and two friends take a walk down memory lane. Find out what's set to unravel on Tuesday's show, below. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, November 11th, reveal that Sammy Brady will return to town, and she joins a slew of major characters returning to the Peacock soap this week as a part of the show's 60th anniversary special episodes. Of course, Sammy is back thanks to the Tom Horton Free Clinic Gala, and her stepfather, John Black's tribute at the event. Speaking of returns, Philip Kiriakis will confide in his other brother, Lucas Horton, who has also come back to Salem this week for the big event. Read this. Days of Our Lives week of November 10th. Update. Eric Brady returns to Salem. Cat Sammy surprise. Lucas quizzes Philip. Will Philip tell Lucas about his forged letter debacle and how Xander Kiriakis nearly beat him to death? Across town, Jennifer Horton Devereaux will threaten Chad Dimera, and it looks like the drama between these two, where Kat Green will continue to roll on. Speaking of, EJ Dimera will take the time to comfort Kat, as she'll likely feel very guilty about the problems she caused between the family and what's happened to Thomas Dimera. In some feel-good spoilers for Tuesday's show, it sounds like Maggie Kiriakis and Julie Williams will reminisce about the good old days in Salem. As the show is honoring its 60-year history, Days of Our Lives fans can expect plenty of flashback clips, and it looks like Maggie and Julie's conversation will bring on some videos and storylines of the past. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Tuesday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Soap Opera Spy for all the latest Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, November 12th demonstrate what happens when Sammy tries to play nice. Even Marlena has a tough time adjusting. Sammy is a grandma again, and that's an important milestone to celebrate. She decides to throw a baby shower for Chanel and Johnny so they can get everything they need for baby John Paul, aka Trey. She's inviting everyone in Salem who can put up with her. This, of course, includes Marlena. Marlena has been there for her grandson and his wife, and she is truly delighted by baby T. But seeing her entire family together only reminds Marlena of who isn't there. The original John, the one both Johnny and his new son are named after. She wants to feel nothing but joy, but her grief is overwhelming, and Marlena comes close to collapse. Standing by as Sammy and Belle snark over EJ doesn't exactly help. Theo is the new CEO of Dimera Enterprises. He's a big boy now. Look at him wearing a suit, sitting behind a desk, and using big corporate words. We think he looks like a little kid playing dress-up. But Abe thinks his precious boy is making a deal with the devil. Abe was furious when Paulina encouraged Theo to go with this new professional move. And despite playing nice, it's obvious he hasn't yet forgiven her. Lonnie picks up on her parents' tension, and Abe confides in his daughter. Considering that Paulina has done much worse to Lonnie, we expect she'll tell Abe to forgive her. Paulina does what she feels, often without stopping to think, and those who love her just need to get on board with that. As Days of Our Lives celebrates its 60th anniversary, longtime Salemite Suzanne Rogers is celebrating being in remission after recently revealing her cancer battle. Last month, Rogers, who has played Days Maggie for over 5 decades, announced she had been battling stage 2 colorectal cancer. The actress detailed her cancer journey in an interview with TV Insider and now shared exclusively with People that she is officially in remission. I had cancer removed, radiation, that was tough, but I didn't lose my hair, Rogers shared with People during Days' 60th anniversary celebration on November 8th, calling her summer rough. Rogers detailed that a specific kind of chemotherapy and radiation treatment didn't affect her hair, and revealed she's doing much better and is in remission. As for how her cancer diagnosis has changed her outlook, Rogers told People, "I don't worry about the small things. It's not worth it," she said, noting that even as she rushed on her way to the celebration, she reminded herself to slow down. While Rogers is now considered in remission, the actress previously revealed that Maggie won't be in Salem for several months in 2026 for the time she took off to undergo treatment this past summer. When asked about what helped her through her journey, Rogers shared a touching story about her priest. "He took me into the church, up the aisle, up on the altar. He said, 'Stand right here.' And he went and got some oils and a prayer, and did the anointing," she said. "So I felt that that's what helped me through." Days of Our Lives star Suzanne Rogers, who plays the beloved Maggie, recently revealed that she'd been facing stage 2 colorectal cancer, sending shockwaves through the soap community. Fortunately, she's back on her feet again, with a quiet network of supporters who've held her up during her treatment. And at the center of that web was Lindsay Godfrey, who opened up about the bond that carried them both through the hardest season of Rogers' life. Godfrey spoke with Us Magazine at the Days' 60th anniversary event, and within minutes, it was clear she wasn't just sharing an anecdote. She was describing a relationship that had muscle memory. She remembered those early conversations, the ones where Rogers wasn't sure she wanted her diagnosis to be public. Godfrey gently nudged her forward. "She was a little private about it at first. I think we had a conversation where I was like, if people don't know, people won't know. You'll want people to know. You'll find power in that." There was a warmth to the way she explained it. Godfrey said opening up didn't just make Rogers visible. It changed the shape of the experience and made it feel like something conquered rather than endured. And in that same breath, she spoke about the ripple effect, how Rogers' honesty becomes a beacon for people walking their own path. "For me, with Suzanne, I encouraged her to be open about it," she said, noting that countless viewers would find strength simply by watching Rogers fight. It wasn't performative. It was survival with purpose. The bond between the actresses didn't form in the middle of this crisis. It's been there for years, stitched through dinners, on-set days, and the kind of quiet hours that make a family out of coworkers. Godfrey described it with the easy certainty of someone who doesn't have to search for the right word. "From the moment that we met, we knew we were family," she said, And there was no hesitation behind it. Rogers pushed through all the difficulties of chemo and radiation, leaning on her castmates for support. Friends showed up. Faith steadied her, and in the middle of that was Godfrey, who knew exactly what it meant to hold someone's hand through the fear. It's so important that we as people know that we're not alone, whether it's physical health, mental health, whatever it is, Godfrey said. And that's the heart of this story. A woman fighting her way back to health, and the friend who made sure she never fought in the dark. Savior. Salem is in full swing for Days of Our Lives' 60th anniversary, with celebrations, returns, and trips down memory lane. But one promo that highlights the many super couples of Salem seems to have left out one history-making pair. Peacock is currently decked out in celebration of Days' 60th anniversary, which took place on November 8th and kicks off this week on the soap. Along with a gold banner that reads, "Celebrating 60 Years," Peacock also features a special promo that highlights several couples throughout the last 6 decades. Along with iconic moments like Marlena being possessed by the devil, Sammy walking in on her mother with John, and Lexi's devastating death, were several clips from super couples' iconic weddings. Spotted was Doug and Julie on their wedding day, Beau kissing his bride Hope, Steve and Kayla on their yacht, Lonnie and Eli jumping the broom, and many more. However, the fan-favorite super couple that was notably missing amongst the many wedding clips was Will and Sunny. The couple were married by Marlena in 2014, marking the very first same-sex male wedding on Daytime. At the time, the episode aired on NBC, and Will was portrayed by Guy Wilson, while Massey later reshot some wedding scenes alongside Smith during his 2017 return. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. When Sammy is in Salem, there's never, ever a dull moment, and this trip is no exception. She has already clashed with EJ, who can't believe she is going to marry a member of the Vitali family. But Sammy's main focus for this trip is her new grandson, Trey. Sammy hosts a baby shower for Johnny, Chanel, and their new little boy at the Brady pub, where she also reunites with Will and tells him all about her engagement. Will is also taken aback by his mother's news, but will his former stepfather make things more complicated? Sammy asked EJ not to attend the shower, but will he listen? He has already promised to stay out of Johnny and Chanel's lives, but we all know EJ often can't help himself. Will he make his relationship with his son even worse if he shows up? Lonnie and Eli are also back in town for the big hospital gala, but before the festivities begin, Lonnie spends some time with her dad in Horton Town Square. Abe confides in Lonnie that he is worried sick about Theo working for Dimera Enterprises, especially as CEO of the company. Abe is also concerned that Theo has not been confiding in him. Lonnie asks Abe to think about why Theo would be more comfortable confiding in Paulina rather than his own father. Maybe Abe will realize that he is too hard on Lexi's side of the family. After all, she was Theo's mother, and that makes Theo a Dimera, whether Abe likes the idea or not. Will Lonnie make Abe see that he could be driving Theo further away by not respecting Theo's wishes and his ability to make adult decisions for himself? Abe is going to have a whole lot to think about. Welcome to Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode.